Something terrifying is happening in world football, and no one is ready for it. Frimpong, Wirtz, Kirkes, a modern tactical brain on the sidelines, and that's just the beginning. We're talking about a team that could rival the Galácticos in firepower, but with the hunger of a side that's been counted out. This isn't just good business, this is a message to the rest of Europe. No one is safe, because if everything we're seeing is true, we're not just watching the return of Liverpool, we're watching the birth of football's next superpower. And once you understand what they're building, you'll never look at Liverpool the same way again. Chapter 1. The calm before the storm. One season, no big transfers, no major expectations. Just a new coach, a tired squad, and the heavy weight of Klopp's shadow. But somehow, Arne Slot delivered the unthinkable. In his first year at Liverpool with a squad many called aging and unbalanced, Slot won the Premier League, not with flash, not with chaos, but with structure, control, and a clear vision. The football, measured, ruthless, efficient. He didn't try to be Klopp. He didn't preach emotion. He built patterns, rebuilt confidence, and quietly outsmarted every super club in England. What's even more shocking, he did it without a single major signing. Now imagine what happens when you give that coach a real budget, when the board goes all in, when world-class names like Frimpong, Wirtz, even Rodrigo start to walk through the door. Slot's first season wasn't the peak. It was the foundation. The tactical blueprint is already working. The system is in place. The dressing room believes, and now they're about to give him the tools to make it unstoppable. Chapter 2. The Chaos Weapon. Jeremy Frimpong. The first domino has already fallen. Liverpool have officially signed Jeremy Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen. The deal, around €40 million, activated through his release clause. A bargain in today's market for one of Europe's most explosive wing-backs. The negotiations were swift. Liverpool had tracked Frimpong since last season, and once Arne Slot gave the green light, the club moved fast. No bidding war, no drama, just clinical execution, because they knew exactly what they were getting. Attacking from deep, ghosting into the box, scoring goals, stretching defenses, and causing chaos. Now imagine that chaos inside Arne Slot's system. A structure that thrives on width, verticality, and offensive overloads. And for a Liverpool team that now wants to dominate the flanks again, he's the perfect weapon, because while defenders wait and calculate, Frimpong just goes. He's not here to replace Trent. He's here to transform the right flank into something entirely different. And in a team full of intelligent movers and quick decision makers, Frimpong brings something rare. Pure, unstoppable chaos. Delivered with precision. This isn't a gamble. This is Liverpool buying predictable danger. Week after week, match after match. Chapter 3. The genius move Florian Wirtz. The deal is done. Liverpool have submitted a club record bid of €130 million for Florian Wirtz, the creative heartbeat of Bayer Leverkusen and arguably the most wanted playmaker in world football. Why the urgency? Why this level of commitment? Because Arne Slot knows exactly what he's building. After a title-winning debut season, Slot is shaping Liverpool into one of the most tactically fluid sides in Europe. High pressing, vertical passing, and positional rotations that demand intelligent midfielders who can thrive under pressure and read the game in real time. Wirtz is that midfielder, and more. While many players can pass, few can orchestrate. Wirtz doesn't just move the ball, he bends the entire tempo of a match to his will. In Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen, he was the fulcrum, drifting between the lines, executing delicate one-touch layoffs, and carrying the ball through pressing traps as if they didn't exist. Slot sees Wirtz as the final piece in a creative puzzle that already includes Ryan Gravenberch, Dominik Szoboszlai, and Alexis McAllister. But while those three offer energy and structure, Wirtz offers unpredictability. Most importantly, his style complements Liverpool's new tactical evolution under Slot. No longer depending on chaotic transitions, but on control, intelligence, and manipulating space. And for Wirtz, it's not just about money or glamour. According to Bild, the players' camp, including his parents, were spotted in Manchester speaking to city officials, but ultimately turned down the approach. Wirtz reportedly was drawn to the role he would have at Liverpool, a leader, not a cog. He knows he's walking into a club ready to give him the keys. Not just a role, a responsibility. Florian Wirtz could define Liverpool's midfield for the next decade. And if it doesn't, Liverpool might spend the next 10 years trying to find someone like him again. Chapter 4. The overlooked gem, Milos Kerkez, joins the revolution. In the shadow of the Wirtz saga, Liverpool quietly completed another important piece of business. The signing of Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth. No fireworks, no headline battle with Europe's elites. But make no mistake, this could be one of the smartest moves of Liverpool's entire summer. Kerkez, just 21 years old, has already proven he's not your average fullback. Born in Serbia, raised in Hungary, shaped in Milan's academy, his journey has been unorthodox, but it made him one of the most aggressive and dynamic left-backs in the Premier League. At Bournemouth, he was electric. Constant forward runs, intense duels, sharp decision-making in transition. He averaged one of the highest progressive carry numbers among fullbacks outside the top 6. And defensively, he was no slouch either. So why is this important? Because Arne Slot's system demands a left-back who can overlap, underlap, invert, and even join the midfield when needed. Think of what Malaysia did at Feyenoord. Think of what Alvarez does for Ajax. Slot doesn't want passengers out wide, he wants engines, and Kerkez fits that perfectly. More importantly, his arrival addresses one of Liverpool's most fragile areas. Andy Robertson, though still solid, is aging. Kostas Tsimikas never quite convinced, and in a season that will test the squad's depth, relying on tired legs isn't an option. Kerkez brings hunger, he brings youth, but he also brings real top-level potential. And with the right coaching under Slot, there's every chance Liverpool just lock down their left side for the next decade. It's the kind of signing that champions make. Not flashy, not overpriced, but crucial. And in a summer filled with big names, Milos Kerkez might be the most underrated piece of Liverpool's new puzzle. Chapter 5. Contract renewals, stability meets ambition. For all the headlines about new arrivals, Liverpool's most important deals this summer might not involve a single euro in transfer fees. Because as Frimpong, Wirtz and Kerkez sign, two giants quietly made decisions that could define the club's next era. Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk. Both past 30, both linked with exits, both staying. Salah had offers, massive ones. Saudi Arabia wanted him as their new crown jewel. Over 100 million euros on the table, a blank check if he wanted it. But instead of walking away a legend, Salah made a different choice. He renewed, not because he needed more trophies, he's won them all. Not because he had something to prove, but because he believes the next Liverpool chapter might be even more dangerous than the last. And because he still burns, the goals are still coming. The pace is still there, and under Slot's faster, more vertical system, Salah might thrive in a whole new way, drifting centrally, operating in pockets, finding space between tired centre-backs. Virgil van Dijk made a similar decision, and in some ways an even harder one. He's 33 now, no longer the fastest, no longer the scariest defender in Europe, but he's still the calmest, still the smartest, still the one you'd want leading your backline in a Champions League final. Renewing these contracts wasn't just business, it was a statement. Liverpool is building forward, yes, but they're not abandoning the spine. They're blending legacy with ambition, and they're doing it in a way that few modern clubs even attempt. In a world where big clubs are obsessed with youth, resale value, and the next big thing, Liverpool quietly did something brave. They backed the ones who built the dynasty and gave them the keys to help build the next one. Chapter 6. Transfer rumours, building depth and versatility. Liverpool's confirmed moves have already sent shockwaves through Europe, but what's even more frightening, they might not be done yet. Because if there's one thing Arne Slot understands, it's that a modern super club isn't just about the starting 11, it's about depth, flexibility, game changers off the bench, and right now, Liverpool are quietly hunting for them. One name making the rounds is Hugo Ekitike, the French forward currently with Eintracht Frankfurt. At just 22, he's raw, inconsistent, but the talent, it's electric, tall, fast, direct. Ekitike could offer a new profile to Liverpool's front line, a more vertical threat, a striker who thrives in transition, stretches back lines, and opens space for players like Salah and Wirtz to operate. Slot's system demands mobility and attack, and Ekitike, with the right development, might just explode in that setup. But midfield remains a key area too, and Liverpool are reportedly circling Ederson, the Brazilian engine at Atalanta. Not to be confused with the goalkeeper at City, this Ederson is a machine in midfield. Box to box, relentless in pressing, and technically clean under pressure. He's not a headline grabber yet, but he's the kind of player who makes others look better, who breaks lines, wins duels, and never stops running. Slot sees him as a puzzle piece, one that could unlock a new dimension in Liverpool's midfield. And then there's the wild card. Multiple reports, still early, still unconfirmed, suggest Rodrigo from Real Madrid could be the true bombshell. With Mbappe arriving, Rodrigo, once untouchable, is suddenly available. Liverpool are watching closely, because Rodrigo isn't just another winger, he's Champions League proven, a big game player, a technician, and someone who could play across the front three. If the Salah succession plan ever needed a name, Rodrigo might be it. Whether it's depth or stardust, Liverpool's shopping list isn't just about names, it's about profiles, roles, the perfect pieces to a system that's evolving rapidly. And for the first time in years, they're moving not with desperation, but with intent. Chapter 7, Potential Challenges Ahead. It all sounds perfect, doesn't it? Yes, but even in this new era of ambition, Liverpool is far from untouchable, because beneath the optimism lies a set of real, unavoidable challenges, the kind that have derailed rebuilds before. And if Slot is going to turn Liverpool into Europe's next great superpower, he'll need to solve all of them. Fast. First, the integration period. No matter how talented your signings are, systems take time. Slot's football isn't plug and play. It's structured, dynamic, automated, a hybrid of Dutch discipline and Premier League chaos. Players like Kerkez, Frimpong and Wirtz will need to unlearn habits and adopt a new language of football. It took Guardiola over a year to make City unstoppable. Klopp's Liverpool only peaked after seasons of iteration, so fans hoping for instant dominance might need to be patient. Because the start of the season, it might look a lot messier than they expect. Second, injuries. Liverpool's pressing style will push physical limits, and in a season with Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, and even the Club World Cup, wear and tear is inevitable. The dream of lifting everything depends on keeping the key men fit. If Salah tweaks a hamstring or Wirtz needs time on the sidelines, the tactical machine stutters. In recent years, we've seen it firsthand. A couple of injuries and suddenly everything collapses. Depth will help, rotation will help. But in modern football, fitness is fate. Third, squad depth and rotation. Under Klopp, Liverpool often had a world-class 11 and not much else. That won't work anymore. Not in a 60-game season, not in a league where depth is king. Slot needs different profiles. He needs backups who can become starters. He needs tactical flexibility, players who can give him options without sacrificing intensity. That's why links to players like Ederson, Ekitike and Rodrigo matter. They're not just backups, they're pressure valves. They're what keep the machine running when the schedule gets brutal. Without them, Liverpool will burn out before it ever takes off. And then there's the outside pressure. Because as Liverpool gears up for a new dynasty, the rest of England is regrouping. Manchester City may have missed out on the league in 2024/25, but they're still City. And now, with De Bruyne leaving, they'll rebuild, probably bigger and scarier than ever. And Arsenal? After a disappointing season, they'll be desperate to strike back, and Arteta's side already knows how to go the distance. This isn't a vacuum. Slot isn't just building something new, he's doing it in the most brutal footballing environment in the world. The Premier League of 2025/26 won't be forgiving. It'll be a war. And that's why Liverpool's biggest opponent might not be injuries or time or pressure, but the fact that their rivals won't stand still. So yes, the potential is incredible, but the margin for error, smaller than ever. And how Liverpool answers these challenges will decide whether this rebuild ends in glory or becomes yet another what if in the club's storied history.